What's up, guys? So we're going to go through a couple things tonight. I'm going to do something called a 5-paragraph op-ord or op-order. This is very rough. It's going to be very rough. I have had a fair bit of instruction in them, but it definitely wasn't my strong suits, or one of my strong suits, or something I had much opportunity to practice. So bear with me. This is more for entertainment. You're going to recognize some of the names, places, stuff like that. It's for entertainment, not for purposes of copyright infringement, right? So, hang loose. All right, secure your note-taking materials and stand by. Situation. A group of colonists on LV-426 has gone dark. There's been no communication for the last 426 hours. Scientists on LV-426 were conducting experiments with an unknown contagion. Paragraph Alpha, enemy forces. Line 1, unknown. Line 2, unknown. Line 3, unknown. Friendly forces. It's just us. First squad, first platoon, 725th MP Company. I don't know if it actually exists, just roll with it. Friendly forces in the vicinity. None, none, none. Attachments or detachments. We do not have any. All right, so I'm going to break that down for you just a moment. All right, so situation. First up, paragraph Alpha is enemy forces. 1, situation. It's broken down by enemy, weather, and terrain. 2, capabilities. We don't know in this instance. 3, probable course of action. We don't know who the enemy is, so how can we know what their probable course of action would be? This is all based on a wild guess, essentially, from military intelligence. If you've seen the movie Navy SEALs, you know what I'm thinking. No shade if you're MI, right? You guys do an important job, but we understand it's mostly guesswork. Do what you do. Keep it up. Okay, so paragraph Bravo, friendly forces. Line 1 would be mission of next higher unit. It doesn't apply in this instance, so I didn't put anything in there because it would have been creating too much fictional stuff, right? Based on this complete fictional mission. I didn't see the need to create it. But this would be what your battalion level headquarters is doing. Mission of adjacent units. If you have anyone operating left, right of you, front, or rear of you, this is where you fill in what they're doing. Mission and location of supporting elements. Pretty self-explanatory. Who are they, what are they doing, and where are they doing it? Mission. This is where you do your 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Okay? So, mission. No later than 25/05/45 September 2022, that's a date time group. The first 2 are the date, the next 4 is the time. The next 3 is the 3-character month, and then the last 2 or last 4, everyone does it differently or represents it differently when they write these things, is the year. On order, first platoon, or first squad, first platoon, 725th MP Company will move to LV-426 via Army space assets to assess what happened and why the colonists are out of communication. We will establish contact with the colonists to determine what happened, repair their equipment if needed, or allow them to use ours to contact home, and create a plan to ensure further communication until replacement parts arrive. If no contact with colonists is made, we will conduct reconnaissance of the area to ascertain what happened. Upon arrival, we will disembark the space assets, conduct an orbital assault using dropships and MATVs. Again, I'm not trying to infringe on aliens. I figure you've all seen the movie, and this is pretty easy to follow. All right, so we move on from there to the execution. So, paragraph Alpha is concept of operation. Your first few sentences will be scheme of maneuver, formation used to maneuver, route taken, Tactical missions to subordinate units. Paragraph Bravo. Subunit subparagraphs, if any. You don't always need them. If they're not there, it's not there. Line C, Paragraph Charlie. Coordinating instructions, if possible. So the only time I really did this was at Advanced Leader course, and we were given a gobbledygook of information, a little packet, and from there you had to draft your 5-paragraph op-ord and then provide a mission brief. I was sick as hell when I made mine, so I got up at 2 a.m. the day I did it and jammed all this out. I did pretty rough. My SGL, Luke, you know who you are. If you're watching this, thanks for being understanding, man. In conjunction with that, I don't recommend the beef taco MRE, double-ended spew. Anyways, execution. We'll move in a mounted file. The order of march will be Charlie, Bravo, and Alpha Team. We'll move to objective Serpent via MSR, main supply route, Splinter, and ASR, auxiliary supply route. I think that's what it means. I'm a little rusty. Anyways, it's a smaller street. An MSR is like the main drag. So main street through your town would be an MSR. An ASR would be any street coming off of that. Via ASR cell. A team led by Sergeant Eversman and Bravo team led by Corporal Hicks will enter objective Serpent and scout for signs of colonists. If no colonists are located, we will scout the area for signs of what happened as a platoon. Upon completion, we will extract via MATV, and dropship and return to Earth. The commander's intent for this mission. This is read twice. It is written word by word, or word for word, verbatim, by Specialist Snuffleupagus and whomever else. So when you do your PCC, PCI, pre-combat check, pre-combat inspection, you want to have them whip out their notebook and make sure they wrote it down. Commanders, make this as simple as possible, okay? Your soldiers receive very minimal training in this during basic training and generally have no idea what the hell to do with it other than they're supposed to write it down twice. The commander's intent is the objective for the mission, how you know when to begin, and when to stop doing whatever you're doing to accomplish that mission. So for this instance, our commander's intent will be to determine what happened to colonists and reestablish contact with base camp with Earth if possible. If no colonists are present, 1st Squad, 1st Platoon, 725th MP Company will investigate what happened. So once you've found out what happened to them, that's when it's time to stop and leave. Or, as a leader, you make an audible. So that's provide communications personnel or specialists if they're within your platoon to lend aid or anything like that. In this instance, it would be repair a radio, provide medical support, anything like that. Or once you figured out what the hell happened, you leave. Which, if you've seen Aliens, they should have found the colonists and left RFN, and they wouldn't be dead. RFN is writing now. Anyway, service and support, which is the 4th paragraph if you're following along. There's a good memory aid I should have mentioned at the beginning. Sergeant Major eats sugar cookies. That'll help you get this done. Most sergeants major I know don't eat sugar cookies, but whatever. All right, so service support, paragraph alpha, supply. First couple lines is going to be rations. Next couple is going to be uniforms and equipment. Next couple is going to be arms and equipment, and then what to do with captured material, if any. Paragraph Bravo is transportation or transpo. Paragraph Charlie, medical evacuation. Paragraph Delta, personnel. Paragraph Echo, what to do with prisoners of war if you recover any. In our instance, you're not going to capture an alien, so that one doesn't apply. All right, so service support, what I've got. You've all been issued 72 hours of rations, water purification assets to sustain life. You've been issued with multicam adaptive uniforms, and you have your basic loadout from the packing list. This tells you what to pack, what to bring. Anytime you go to the field, this is what's expected that you bring with you. You're armed with standard small arms, M19 pistols, SCARs, and assorted crew-served weapons for the vehicle, as well as some dismounted capability. Captured enemy material will be brought back to base, if possible, or destroyed on site, if not possible. I.e., if it's too big to move, take pictures of it, record it, mess with it a little bit, and then blow it up. Transport is via dropship and MATV. Medevac will be via MATV CASEVAC, so any non-medical vehicle used for the purposes of moving a casualty is a CASEVAC. And dropship. Medics will provide field care or tactical combat casualty care, TC3, until mission extraction. Personnel used in this instance is going to be 1st Squad, 1st Platoon, 725th MP Company. Prisoners of war, we're not anticipating any. They will be transported back if possible. If not, they will be surrendered to local law enforcement for processing and follow-on interrogation by military intelligence. Command and signal. Paragraph alpha, signal, how to communicate, what you need to do. Your first couple lines are going to be frequencies and call signs. Your next couple lines are going to be pyrotechnics or pyro and signals. The next couple lines are going to be the challenge and password, how to identify yourself if radios take a crap, which they will, and code words used during the mission. So this is a good example in the movie Black Hawk Down. Mission launch code word is Irene. So that would be code for, that essentially means all required elements leading up to what we're anticipating successful execution of the mission have been accomplished to this point. Commit forces, go do the job. Command is going to be paragraph Bravo. Command leader location. Where are you going to find your lieutenant? Where are you going to find your platoon sergeant? Where are you going to find Bozo the Clown? You know, anything like that. And then chain of command. If anything happens on the mission and the LT goes down, who takes over? So, command and signal. Signal will be via SOCS, suborbital communication kit. Pretty sure I made it up. Oops, if I did, whatever. We'll be using frequency 212.50, 212.50. Anything important, say it twice. Call sign used will be Alpha Team, Hammer, Bravo Team, Wrench, Charlie Team, Tape. Pyro and signal. Standard smoke grenades and flares. 3. Code words. The challenge will be strike, password, deep, emergency, warriors. Emergency is used if you forget anything else or everything else. This is what you don't forget so that you don't get shot. A good example would be in Black Hawk, again in the movie Black Hawk Down. It lends itself well to breakdown. When Nelson and Twombly are separated, they're isolated from the chalk they belong to. They encounter Sergeant Urich later on in the movie, and he yells, "Rangers!" And they yell, "Who?" And then he identifies by name, and they're like, "Oh shit, sorry, you know, blah, blah, blah." That's an example of the challenge and password or emergency use. Number combination. Anything adding up to 16 from the challenge number. So if you came up to me with some people with you and you didn't want to give away the challenge and password or anything like that, I'd look at you and I'd say 12, and you'd answer 4 because it adds up to 16. I'm going to allow you to advance further. If I say 12 and you say 12, obviously that doesn't add up to 16. We're going to smoke your ass. The running password. If you're being chased by a significant amount of bad guys and you don't have time to slow down and you're just trying to drop crap and get back to friendly forces, if you come at me and you say shit or shit, we're going to let you pass and we're going to lay hate on whoever's behind you. Additional code words. Mission launch code word will be go. Arrival on objective will be Irene. Completed mission will be Bravo Zulu. Move to evac. The code word will be leave. I tried to make it pretty simple. Leaders make it simple, but not so simple it can be guessed by the bad guys. All right, so moving on to paragraph Bravo, command. Lieutenant Big Bird will have overall mission command, and he will be riding with Alpha Team. Chain of command, in Lieutenant Big Bird's absence, will be Staff Sergeant Grouch, Oscar D. And then Bravo and Charlie team leaders in order of seniority. The contingency chain of command will be team members by order of rank or seniority. This is where it gets scary, because Specialist Snuffleupagus that I mentioned earlier, if he's the most senior specialist on the mission, he could be in charge of everybody. This is where it gets scary, and this is where you really find out how well you've trained your people. Well, you don't, but the rest of your platoon will, because if this is enacted, you're either captured, dead, or otherwise separated from the units. And basically, the mission becomes just get everyone and everything home with minimal loss. All right, so none of this information has been sourced from real missions or anything like that, okay? I did not deliberately or claim any of the names, movies, or anything that I mentioned as my own original works, okay? Aliens is a movie. It lends itself well to examples. Same with Black Hawk Down, okay? Questions, comments, put them down below. Otherwise, stay tuned. My next video tonight, I am going to sort of do a rough example of pre-combat check, pre-combat inspections.